Welcome back to The Cheat Sheet, where we are learning about political betting markets, where you actually wager on politics. Now, we know that betting websites are really accurate at predicting elections. To learn why, we needed an expert. But because, like Speedos and month-long paid vacations, political betting is European, we had to search across the pond to find a professional. But we did. He has come all the way from Manchester, England. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so thrilled to introduce you to a professional gambler and a political analyst for Betfair.com, Paul Krishnamurty. Paul,
hi.
I want to start by asking you the question that everyone is thinking, the answer that they want to know. Who is your favorite Golden Girl? No, who is going to win in 2016?
Hillary Clinton. She will beat Scott Walker
Wow.
in the playoff.
Bold prediction there.
You got to be bold.
What are the statistics looking like in terms of percentages of likelihood of particular people winning?
Well, the current market projection says Hillary's a 50% chance, but it says the Democrats are a 58% chance. And seeing as I cannot see her not being the candidate, it has to be her.
Now, do the markets indicate Scott Walker is going to be?
No, they indicate Jeb Bush. But notoriously, at this early stage before the primaries start, you should be very wary of the market in the Republican nomination because we've had some really dubious favourites in the past.
Like who?
Herman Cain.
He had his day. He had his day on the market.
Yeah. Rick Perry, and it all just went wrong in one sentence. Yeah. Mitt Romney in 2008 was favourite before McCain won.
Now, is it mostly just based on, are the flips mostly based on like Iowa and New Hampshire performance, or just the other? Wow, so those are kind of important.
It's decisive. I don't think anyone's ever won a nomination, or certainly in the era of Betfair, without winning one of those two states.
Now, let's talk about Betfair for just a second before we get too into the weeds with the politics. Explain how this works. Do bookies set odds, or do people exchange between themselves? Like, tell us how Betfair is.
So Betfair is kind of like the eBay of betting. So if you look, historically, the traditional bookmaker is one company, one sports betting company, or one individual setting the odds, and then punters deciding whether they want to have a bet one way or the other. Betfair's nothing like that. It's purely market driven. It's driven by supply and demand. It's person-to-person betting exchange.
Like a stock market.
Yeah, so me and you could be the only people betting on a market. I'd choose my odds, you'd choose your odds, and somewhere we'd meet in the middle.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And you say Betfair's been around for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty accurate for that time.
I think in terms of the main market, i.e. the next president or who wins the most seats or next prime minister, like that, they've been correct in every market. Now,
you guys have been correct with both Obama elections. Is there a little bit of just, we like Obama? I mean, did you just luck out in the fact that in the last 15 years, you've had two elections by someone that y'all just like?
No, I don't think so. I mean, personally, I predicted Obama 2.5 years before he won it.
Wow.
Based on specific...
The speech at the convention?
Reasons. No, it was more about looking at Republicans. It was more about saying, look, if that's their line, if that's the path they're going down, then they won't win. And you're looking at the possible candidates and saying, really, is Mitt Romney really going to beat Obama? No.
Well, you're in San Francisco. You're safe. You're fine. Yeah. You can say that. So why do you think it is that sites like Betfair that you do analysis for are so much better at predicting elections than traditional polling?
Okay, I'd say 3 reasons. So, number one, there is no political agenda. This is, okay, as individuals, we've all got our political viewpoints. We're human, yeah? But anyone who's a successful gambler knows that this is like the first rule. I mean, I tell my clients always that's the thing that you've got to get over. You've got to become cold and rational about it, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Be ruthless, yeah. And so, therefore, that cold, rational analysis of it allows us to give us an edge in other ways. So, for example, with the media. So, if you take the elections you were talking about before, like the Scottish referendum or Obama's election in 2012, So the media have got an interest in saying this is close, this is too close to call. It makes it more exciting, it makes people want to watch.
Oh.
Yet in reality, if you look deeper down, you would say, no, it's not that close at all, really. Not saying that we necessarily predicted the correct margin, but if you were to take, say, the Obama thing, well, I was looking at the Electoral College, so I wasn't really that bothered about the popular vote.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
you could see sort of 6 months in advance that, well, for Romney to have any chance, he's got to win Ohio. And then you look at the factors in Ohio, like the car industry, all of that stuff, the GM bailout, and you could see it moving in Obama's direction.
Did you ever hit refresh a bunch of times on a website to get your information? Was that part of your strategy at all?
Sadly, I have sat up many times through the night watching primaries, refreshing the odds over and over again.
Now you look at polls, though. I mean, part of your analysis is polls. So how do you go about determining how much to rely on them?
Well, I think that's the key to it. You've got to understand that they're relevant. They drive the market to a large extent, so you've got to take notice. But they're just one of a range of factors. So pollsters themselves will tell you that they're not offering a forecast, a prediction. They're offering a snapshot of public opinion, right? So you take that snapshot and then you add in extras like historical trends, like we're talking about Iowa and New Hampshire. That's a historical trend that you might use. Equally, there are other things like the late swing and the incumbency bias. Like there tends to be a bias in elections towards the status quo, where people just get fearful of change in the last day or two of the thing, which the polls just don't pick up. The Scottish referendum would be an example.
Oh, really?
You know, that's such a radical decision for the country to take. It's not surprising that maybe one or two people got cold feet.
Gotcha. When they finally went to the polls.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that is so interesting to me about these betting markets is if you look at the U.S. right now, all we're talking about is Donald Trump. And he's winning in certain polls, and he's winning in certain states in certain polls, and yet he has not moved, it doesn't seem, he's moved in the betting markets. So there seems to be this ability to disregard the frothiness of people of the media working up Americans about somebody being a front runner.
Yeah, that's right. And I think with regards to those polls putting Trump in front, see, this is half the thing. It's knowing which polls to take notice of. So now I saw a poll the other day for USA Today with 15 different Republican candidates in it, right? And I think that...
Only 15?
Only 15,
well, it was limited, clearly very limited poll.
I think Trump was winning on 20% and Bush was on 15%. Now, given that those two have overwhelming name recognition advantage over the Scott Walkers and the Ted Cruzes of this world, that's a really poor number, because if Donald Trump's going to win, he's going to have to get a lot more than 20%.
That is true.
And most people have already formed an opinion about Donald Trump. They haven't formed an opinion about Scott Walker because they don't know him.
Now, you think he's going to be potentially the Republican nominee. Why do you think that?
Well, because Iowa and New Hampshire are critical, and he's bedded in Iowa. He has a track record of winning elections in a Democrat state. He's survived recall elections. I don't think anyone's ever done that, have they?
Anyone ever? I don't know.
I think so. I think no one's ever won.
I don't know if they've done that and gone on to be president.
But so he's proven he can win elections. He will win the first state, in my opinion. Plus, I think he taps into this kind of mood in the Republican side for the past 10 years, this anti-Washington sentiment. And whereas other people who have had that angle, say Huckabee, for example.
Or Trump, or Cruz, or Christie.
Well, Trump's not convincing, for one, for many, many reasons, right? Yes.
I don't know, he seems pretty genuinely megalomaniac.
Exactly, yeah. But he's got as many negatives. But Walker's a serious politician, and I think that role could indeed go to Ted Cruz or Chris Christie, but because Walker's going to win Iowa, it will give him the momentum and the advantage. The money will go to him, and it will be him versus Bush, maybe one other, as the thing goes on. And I think Walker will come through.
Well, I love that we've had this conversation, and we've had this conversation for the last couple of days. I've been so enjoying talking American politics with you. So I have to ask you, how are you enjoying your first trip to the United
I love it.
States.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, San Francisco Bay, beautiful, absolutely.
We were emailing back and forth.
Yeah.
We were emailing back and forth. And he was like, what should I do? I've never been to the U.S. And I'm like, what do you do for a living? That's amazing. Amazing that you do such sophisticated analysis from over there.
Yeah, and you know something, I mean, I'm half tempted to come in next year because, let's be honest, next year I'm going to be sitting up at 6 a.m. in the morning UK time watching the Republican primary from Nevada or something. Right? I might as well move it, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Refresh. Oh my goodness.
We do it in sunshine.
Well, thank you so much. We need to take
Pleasure.
a short break. Please stay with us.